You could say that life is consciousness because consciousness is all there is. Therefore, life must be consciousness, right? And consciousness and life both are empty and meaningless. They just are. I mean, if you look at awareness, which would be awareness looking at itself, which proves that you are awareness. But if you look at awareness, the only possible thing to see if you're actually looking at awareness is that there's nothing there. It just is.
Yeah, I don't think the statement is meant to be sad, it's just fact.
Well, nothing is there, but everything is there, right?
Well, it's not a question of whether nothing or everything is there. The statement is that life is empty and meaningless. So whatever is there doesn't inherently mean anything. One of the ways that Werner Erhard talked about this is he said human beings are meaning-making machines.
But doesn't the idea of awareness, consciousness include infinite love?
It doesn't include it, it is it.
Doesn't that give it some meaning?
No, that doesn't mean anything, it's just the way it is. But you see, the fact that it's empty and meaningless, it could mean that what it means is positive just as much as it could mean that what it means is negative. Meaning is an attribution that you give to things. There's no meaning in anything inherently. Well, see, it's the thing you're referring to when you talk about Ramesh Balsekar, right? His interpretation that follows self-realization is that, okay, I am enlightened, I am awake, I'm self-realized, I know who I am, I know what it is, like I'm awake, I know who I am, I know what it is, I'm awake. Now, how do I live? How do I live? Well, if I'm a meaning-making machine, and that's what it is to be human, then I better figure out a way to live as that and be happy. Because I am not going to be able to be in this world and be awareness. Awareness doesn't show up in form. The only way I can continue to be in this world is to be in form, to be in the form of a body and to be in the form of a person, and to experience my life in life as we know it. And in life as we know it, everybody's walking around giving meaning to everything, right? So you sort out, okay, in that world, the way that world is, how do I be happy? And he concluded, after giving it obviously significant amount of attention, the way to be happy is to accept thy will be done. The way to be happy is to accept that nobody ever does anything to you, you never do anything to anybody. And this gives you the space to be in the world as the world is and not be in conflict with anybody or anything. And that's peace of mind. And part of accepting thy will be done is accepting everything, because, see, that's the thing that people don't get about thy will be done.
So is thy awareness?
You can put any word there you want. Awareness, God, consciousness, cosmic order, unified field. You can put anything there you want. The thing about it is that one of the fundamental ideas that's spoken about in all these teachings is there is something going on. Okay, something is definitely going on, as Buffalo Springfield said, something happening here, what it is ain't exactly clear. Something is definitely going on, and whatever is going on, right, it seems pretty evident to everybody that's ever given it any attention or thought that there must be a source to this. It must be happening from somewhere. It appears to happen a certain way. It does, doesn't it? Appears to happen a certain way. It appears to happen where things are born, time passes, and they die. This seems to be happening universally. All life, everything that's born dies, right? So there are certain things that indicate that there is some source, there is something that is giving this the way it is, the way it's happening. It's not happening chaotically, it's happening in a way that's repetitious, right? So there is something going on here, and then we, as human beings, have the ability to recognize that the most fundamental thing that's going on here is our awareness. If you go through the process to inquire into what is going on here, right? What you will arrive at, if you do the process, you have to arrive at, is the most fundamental thing that I can recognize that's going on here is my awareness. Therefore, if I'm searching for truth, right? If I'm searching for truth, that which cannot be denied is true, right? Then that one thing that cannot be denied is true is that I exist. My awareness. Now you have something that's true. Something that's true. Something that doesn't change. Something that can not be doubted. Something that cannot be questioned because you are having a direct experience of it. And then it leads to the next possible conclusion. Maybe I am that. No, these teachings actually point to the statement that I said. These teachings point to emptiness. These teachings point to the incomprehensible reality of the nature of awareness itself. And part of that incomprehensible reality is its meaninglessness. It doesn't have a purpose. It doesn't have a meaning. It is what it is. But see, the real challenge is to be able to bridge that gap. We all know well and good that it's a wonderful thing to come to believe that consciousness never was born and never dies. It's a wonderful thing to believe, isn't it? Because it means that you don't die, right? Oh, that's wonderful, right? But to bridge the gap between the orientation that you find yourself in and having an absolute conviction that that's true and experiencing that truth, that's a different story, right? Because your brain and your mind is conditioned that you are that physical body, and when that goes, you go. And everybody around you is living in that world. That's where most people get stuck. That's the seeker. That's the life of the seeker. The seeker is not seeking the truth. The seeker is seeking the experience of the truth. Right? Right? The seeker is seeking the experience of truth. I know about the truth. I've heard about the truth. I believe in the truth. I'm convinced of the truth. But I'm not experiencing it. That's the real challenge, because in order to experience it, you have to start living from that. You can see it's true all around you when you pay attention in a particular way to the nature of reality. You can see that what we call reality is an appearance if you learn to pay attention to it that way. And then you practice paying attention to it that way. And that's what you have to do to have the experience of not dying. Is you have to start to pay attention to the way things are occurring and see them as they actually are. In other words, the way that I talked about this in another talk is to say you have to be able to consistently recognize that the reality that you're witnessing is an appearance. It's a very interesting experience. I would like to interview somebody that has total amnesia and ask them what was it like to still be here but not have any idea who you are. Because the reality of it is, and this is why I would like to interview somebody like that, the reality of it is, that's the truth. They're really being who they really are when they don't know who they are. And so that's why it would be interesting. What was that like for you to know where you are, to have people telling you who you were, have people telling you who you're related to, and you don't recognize anybody, and you don't have any idea who you are? Well, see, the thing about it that makes it a gift, it's a tragedy, and it's a tragedy in a sense because if that means you go all the way into being what you are as awareness and not what you are as a person, that's tragic because now you're a lost soul. You're truly a lost soul, right? The fulfillment of the possibility is when you know who you are and you know you're not that. Then you've got the best of both worlds. Then you can really play. When you know who you are, but you know you're not that. That's how an actor is acting in a movie. I know who I am, but I know I'm not the role that I'm playing, right? But that's why it's so enjoyable, because I can step in and out of that role. I can recognize no matter how mad that person is and no matter how crazy that person is, I am not really that person. That's how you relate to your personality when you're awake. Right? No matter how crazy that person is, no matter how angry that person is, no matter how whatever that person is, right? That's not what I really am. So I can be present to that with the awareness that that's not who I really am. And I don't have to try and change it. It'll change on its own because I'm paying attention to it from a view in which I am not being that. And because I'm paying attention to it from a view in which I'm not being that, it will naturally change in relationship to where I'm seeing it from. Your personality will begin to reshape itself, and as Rupert Spira says, get repopulated by the reality of who you are. That will just gradually occur because now your personality is operating in the light of awareness. It's not just being a personality and thinking that's all there is. It's now existing in the light of awareness, and in the light of awareness, it shows up as a personality, not who you are. In the light of awareness, it shows up as a personality, not who you are. So you don't have to do anything but practice being aware. And the awareness, the light of awareness, is the light of the truth, is the light of reality. And when that shines on what's not real, it's seen to be not real. Do you see that? When awareness shines on what's not real, it is seen to be not real. It's not a problem, it doesn't have to change because it's seen to not be real. So its relevance is different. The relevance of seeing yourself as a personality who has moods and who suffers from anxiety or depression and who gets angry and who gets confused, right? The reality of seeing yourself as that person from the viewpoint of awareness does not have that person have to change. The awareness of being that person and suffering the consequences of being that person and seeing yourself as limited to being that person, the awareness of that changes that. Does that make any sense?
That part of it, you lost me.
The awareness of being a person that is seen from awareness. The awareness of being a person that is seen from awareness. When that person is being neurotic and crazy and going through mood changes and being reactive and so forth, it's being seen in the light of awareness now. It's being recognized. What's happening is actually being seen. What's really happening is being seen. So in the light of awareness, because it's being seen not to be who I am as awareness, but who I've been conditioned to be as a personality, in the light of awareness, that personality will start to change to be consistent with what it really is instead of just continuing to be conditioned. It'll be reconditioned to be conditioned to be what it really is.
That's the whole ballgame right there, isn't it?
Well, it is in the sense that you will be who you are in your life. And when you be who you are in your life, you'll be free to express your love. You'll be free to be content. You'll be free to be satisfied. You'll be free to play your script, to look at it from a thy will be done perspective. You'll be free to play your script and not complain about it, right? Because you don't have any choice. Well, it totally transforms everything. It transforms relationships. Why? Because you stop seeing relationships as a place to get your needs fulfilled. You stop seeing relationships as a place to get your needs fulfilled. In other words, that person's not here for me. I'm here for them. When that shifts, when that flips, which it flips naturally when you see the truth, right? Then you are truly in relationship with the person because you're not trying to get anything out of it. That's the whole theme and thesis of waking up, is the idea that what people attempt to get out of substances and out of relationships and out of money and out of all the other things available in life that can't give them that, leaves them frustrated, leaves them depressed, leaves them anxious, leaves them confused. But when you make contact with the truth and you realize that what you want is who you are, that's the teaching. What you want is who you are. And when you're being that, you experience the love. You're not trying to get it. When you're being that, you don't have to be in a relationship for what it can give you. You're there for what you can give it, and you're there to experience the beauty of not knowing what's going to happen next. You're there to experience being present to somebody who doesn't have to be different in order for you to enjoy them. That's an awake relationship.